Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Christmas Lunch and Learn from Norwich Museum. We're happy to be here live on Facebook for our radio performance of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens with some additional Norwich twists. We hope you'll enjoy this performance today. I'll try and keep an eye on comments about sound or anything else going wrong. So let us know. And yeah, look forward to hearing what you think at the end. This program is also being recorded, so should be made available before Christmas for you to watch again if you're extremely keen. Okay, shall we begin?
Yes. It's Christmas Eve in Norwich 2021. Jacob Marley is as dead as a doornail. Now, this is not recent news. Marley has been dead for years, but it is important that you understand this point, that Jacob Marley is dead, or nothing wonderful can come from this story we are about to tell. As I was saying, it is Christmas Eve in Norwich, and our story begins in the offices of Ebenezer Scrooge and his long dead business partner, Jacob Marley. Mr. Scrooge, sir, might I add some coal to the fire?
Absolutely not, Mr. Cratchit. Coal costs money. Doesn't your coat keep you warm?
Not really, sir.
Then I suggest you get a new one.
But, sir...
That's enough, Mr. Cratchit. I suppose you'll want the day off tomorrow, too.
Well, yes, sir. Christmas comes but once a year, sir.
You want me to pay you for a day when you're not working? And you'd better be here even earlier the next morning.
Scrooge's nephew, Fred, arrives in hopes of spreading cheer. Merry Christmas, Uncle!
Humbug!
For Christmas? Humbug? You don't mean it.
I do. What reason have you to be merry? You're not wealthy.
Come, dear Uncle. What reason have you to be so gloomy? You with all your riches.
Humbug! What is Christmas but a time for wasting money on things you don't need? If I had my way, everyone who goes about saying Merry Christmas would be boiled in his own pudding.
Uncle.
Nephew, you celebrate the holiday in your way. Let me celebrate it in mine.
You don't even celebrate it.
Then let me not celebrate it. What good would Christmas ever do for you? What good has it ever done?
Many things do us good without making us rich, Uncle. Though holidays have never put a scrap of gold in my pocket, I believe I am all the better for having celebrated them. Yes, I agree.
Quiet, Mr. Cratchit, or you'll celebrate Christmas by looking for a new job.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Have Christmas dinner with us tomorrow.
Humbug.
Well, why not?
That's enough. Good day, nephew.
So be it. But I shall keep my Christmas spirit to the end. Merry Christmas, Uncle. Merry Christmas, Mr. Cratchit. Happy New Year, Master Fred.
That's a funny thought. Mr. Cratchit, with barely enough money to feed his family and a sick child too, talking about a happy new year. How bizarre.
Later that evening, Scrooge sits alone by his fireplace. Scrooge hears a door fly open and the rattling of chains.
What's that noise?
Passing through the heavy door, a ghost with death cold eyes enters Scrooge's chamber. Its head is wrapped in band-aids, Chains are wound around its body.
You don't scare me. I'm not a man to be frightened by my shadows.
You don't believe in me?
I do not.
The ghost shrieks.
Ooh.
Scrooge drops to his knees and covers his face.
Mercy, dreadful spirit, what is it you want with me?
Much. I am the ghost of your partner, Jacob Marley. I must drag this chain and wander through the world forever. Woe is me.
But why are you chained?
Each link of this chain is a punishment for some kind deed I failed to do. Oh, why did I not show kindness?
But Jacob, you were always such a good businessman. You made so much money. Ooh.
I should have been kinder. Ebenezer, do you know the weight of the change you're making? 7 Christmas Eves ago, your chain was as heavy and long as mine is now, and you have been adding to it with each passing year.
Jacob, what can I do?
Hear me, Scrooge. You will be haunted by 3 spirits. Listen to what each tells you. Expect the first when the clock strikes 1.
Ooh. At 1 a.m., Scrooge awakens to see the first ghost, a gentle spirit in long white gown.
I am the ghost of Christmas past. I will show you your life as it used to be. Rise and walk with me.
They pass magically into Scrooge's past. The ghost and Scrooge are suddenly standing inside an old vinegar works.
Do you know this place?
Know it. I held my first job here. Why, there's old Solomon Allen. He was a good person. Next to Solomon Allen, Scrooge sees himself as a cheerful young man.
It's Christmas Eve. Yo-ho, everyone. No more work tonight. Clear the floor for dancing and fiddling and celebrating.
Apple juice is brought in. The music begins. Everyone starts dancing, including young Scrooge.
Look at this waste of money.
Waste of money? Look how happy everyone is. Solomon Allen was always making people happy. It was the little things mostly. The way he looked at you or patted you on the back.
With whom are you dancing? You look so happy.
It's Stella. Ah, young Stella.
You loved her, but you didn't marry her?
I needed to seek my fortune first.
You mean you could earn no money simply by loving her? You chose wealth instead of love.
Spirit, why do you torture me? Show me no more. I don't want to see it. The spirit disappears. Scrooge finds himself back in his bedroom alone. Christmas celebrations go back hundreds of years to the early Christians in the Roman Empire who determined the date of Christ's birth, conception, and crucifixion based on their understanding of the solar calendar. The crucifixion and conception, believed to have happened on the same date, were placed at the spring equinox, which was believed to be March 25th, and Christ's birth at the winter solstice, 9 months after this date, believed at the time to be December 25th. We know that Christmas was celebrated on this date as early as the 3rd century. Christmas celebrations have changed a lot over the centuries. Different Christian groups have celebrated Christmas differently from the very beginning. When churches in the Eastern Roman Empire calculated the date as January 7th rather than December 25th, the date on which it is still celebrated today in Orthodox Christianity. When European settlers came to North America, they brought with them the customs that developed in their country of origin over time. German settlers decorated an evergreen tree. English settlers made mince pies and plum pudding with raisins and spices, while Dutch settlers brought St. Nicholas as a man who delivered presents, later becoming Santa Claus and Santa Claus. Scottish settlers seem to have spent Christmas quietly, attending church service, with their big party happening on New Year's Eve. In all cases, Christmas Day was like any other day, in that there were chores to be done before going to a prayer service. Children may have found a stocking hung at the foot of their bed, in which they were supposed to find something to eat, something to read, something to play with, and something they needed. Many of the first settlers in Norwich were members of the Religious Society of Friends, also known as Quakers. Quakers did not celebrate the times and seasons, i.e. holy days, as they believed that no day was more holy than any other, and that each day and all of life was sacred. In Norwich, there is no record of Quakers doing anything for Christmas in their diaries, but in later years they did send Christmas cards. In other early Norwich diaries, some people went to visit their neighbors, but no one made an effort to go to church unless Christmas Day was on a Sunday. In the early 1900s, Maurice Healy of Springford remembered popping corn to make garlands for the tree, while other decorations, including the star, were made of cardboard. The tree itself was usually the top cut from one of their own trees so that it would grow back. After dinner, they would talk, sing, eat apples, and crack nuts, but they still had to do their farm chores, hooking the horses, milking the cows, feeding the chickens and pigs. In the evening, they ate oysters, which were not as expensive back then. Everyone traveled around by sleigh. During the First World War, many men were overseas at Christmas. A popular form of communication back home were embroidered silk postcards, blank postcards onto which an embossed paper surround had been glued to frame and hold a central piece of embroidered silk. These were popular in France before the war, but peaked in popularity with British soldiers between 1914 and 1918. As they were fragile, they were often sent in envelopes with letters, and thus did not have anything written on the back. But on the back of the postcard we have in the archives is written, "With all best wishes for Christmas," and it is dated 1916. Between the wars came the Depression, and the Times influenced how Christmas was celebrated in Norwich. Elaine Oliver, who was born in 1925, remembered the Christmases of her childhood, where there were either no toys available or none that parents could afford. One year, when she longed for an expensive red tricycle, her mother and best friend Pat's mother worked together to make them a pair of identical dolls made of scraps. Elaine named hers Shirley Yvonne, after Shirley Temple and Yvonne Dion, the largest of the Dion quintuplets, while Pat named hers Betty Jean. The red tricycle was, at least temporarily, forgotten. Edith Harrison's father died 2 days before her brother Arthur was born in August 1930, so her mother was alone with 4 young children. At Christmas, she received one of the baskets that the township gave out to the needy. This basket included a chicken, some oranges and nuts, a turnip, some Christmas candy, and perhaps some grapes. Their tree was decorated with tinsel, but no lights. Edith also remembered church concerts and nativity plays, singing familiar songs such as Away in a Manger and Silent Night, while shepherds wore bathrobes and angels were dressed in cheesecloth. Doug Harrison remembered that gifts in those days were what was needed, not what was wanted. Decorations were made of crepe paper, bells of paper, and baubles, all of which were used until they fell apart. Christmas for his family was very church-oriented, with on-stage performances at the Anglican Parish Hall. Things changed in the late 1930s as war broke out once again. Edith Harrison remembered not wanting to travel to her uncle's house for Christmas dinner while her brothers were overseas, instead choosing to stay at home by herself with the dog. She regretted it, remembering that she missed the turkey dinner, guitar and piano music, a square dance to fiddle and piano, and a clog dance from her uncle. Doug Harrison was in the Navy during the war. In 1944, he witnessed a Navy tradition which has the youngest sailor in the ship's company declared captain for the day. The officers would wait on the company, serving Christmas dinner at noon. The leftovers were then left out all afternoon during the reverie, and Doug remembers picking at them all afternoon. A few more wartime Christmas traditions were remembered by Margaret Kirby. The tree was still decorated with popcorn garlands, as it had been in the early years of the century. Stockings now contained both an orange and a lump of coal. It was also believed that every slice of Christmas cake eaten at a friend's house was a happy year to come. One year, they did not have a tree, and so adopted an idea from a cousin of her mother who lived above the tree line, decorating a ladder. But apparently it was no substitute for a real tree. One year of the war, the family hosted 2 airmen, Bob and Wally, from the base in Brantford. Margaret said that they smothered them with so much hospitality that they made them ill. After the wars, the Christmas holidays begin to look more familiar to those that I celebrated in my youth. Christmas concerts become popular, including in the 1980s, opera singer John Avey returning to Norwich every year to sing a Christmas concert at Norwich United Church. The museum regularly held Christmas socials and the school fundraisers. Here's a Christmas nativity scene from the museum in the 1980s. And the NDHS food drive in 1996. And here are lots of museum socials past, with perhaps some familiar faces to some of our audience and perhaps not. That was how we did Christmas in the past. The clock strikes 2.
Ho, ho! I'm the ghost of Christmas present. You have never seen the likes of me before.
The second spirit is gigantic and as grand and joyful as the season. Its eyes are clear and kind, yet they frighten Scrooge. Spirit, take me where you will. Let me learn from you.
Look upon me. You and I will go see things as they are now. Off with us then.
The ghost and Scrooge appear in the doorway of a small house. They see a single table and a small fire burning. Where are we?
You don't know the house of your own clerk, Bob Cratchit? Come inside. The family is sitting down to Christmas dinner.
Cratchit's son, Tiny Tim, hobbles to the table using an old wooden crutch. Mother, there never was such a grand goose as this.
That is splendid, my dear.
So excited over a small goose, you'd think it was a prize turkey.
Oh, it's all I can afford. They are not a well-off family.
True, but they're a happy one. Look how pleased they are, especially that little Tim.
A toast to Mr. Scrooge, the founder of our feast. The founder of our feast, indeed. I wish he were here right now. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon. My dear, let's not be bitter. I'll toast his health because it's Christmas, but that's all. Merry Christmas to the unfeeling, unkind, miserly founder of this feast, Mr. Scrooge.
Merry Christmas.
Yes.
And God bless us, everyone. Tell me, Spirit, will Tiny Tim live?
I see an empty seat. I see a tiny crutch with no owner.
Oh no, say he will be all right.
If there is no change in his surroundings, the child will die.
Scrooge stands horrified as the ghost vanishes.
Well, we're going to talk about Christmas present right now, so I got to put on my mask. So is Matthew. Our present Christmases have been quite different. I think I'll take my mask off so you can hear now, but we are getting used to masks. One of the things the museum and archives have been doing is trying to collect information about COVID and the lives in Norwich since it started in the spring of 2020 when things were locked down. And Jenny Wetzel from Tavistock, she is the daughter, no, Gail Wetzel. She is the daughter of, oh no, it is Jenny. She's the daughter of Gail Jackson and Jim Jackson. All right, let me get this right. And she lives in Tavistock. Anyway, she started writing letters every week and has continued them and is still writing them. And she's been sending me the copies to put into the archives. So I'm going to read part of her letter from December 17th, 2020. Now, unfortunately, Gail had just lost her dad. Gail had lost her husband, Jim, and Jenny, her dad. And I remember going to the funeral and how different that was with signing in and wearing masks, and you couldn't shake the hands of the receiving line. And I know the funeral was just immediate family. Anyway, here's the letter. She writes, "Good evening. I cannot believe we are already 17 days into December. Where has this month gone?" And it goes on, and then she gets talking about what her children are doing. "Emma has been plugging away at her gingerbread house since last Saturday. She used the templates that were given to her to cut out the dough just right for the sides, ends, and rooftop of her house. Monday morning, wearing my mask, I went to the Balkborn and chose candies she had specified she'd like to add to her creation. It is a colorful art piece now. Andrew, Emma, and Gracie have been bringing their belongings home from school in case they are not able to return to in-class learning after the break and have to go online. Fingers crossed all goes well and they can return. If not, an extended Christmas break it will be. Wednesday, we picked up our Christmas tree that I'm ever so grateful I had saved for us last year. It was the only one left, and although smaller than other years, it works for this year, and the girls managed to decorate it last night quite handily. Okay, here's your comical saying of the week, Mom and Dad. It is titled New Normal Protocol. Avoid touching men, M-E-N, mouth, eyes, and nose. Instead, follow women, W-O-M-E-N. Wash your hands. O, obey social distancing. M, mask up. E, exercise and eat well. N, no unnecessary traveling. Wishing you all a productive, memorable week before Christmas. This year, I will have mixed feelings about celebrating since Dad won't be here to share this holiday with us. It will seem empty. The kids are excited for Christmas, but their routines too will be changed due to COVID. We will all make the best of it. Love, Jenny. And that's what we have done. We've made the best of it. And I know that Matthew has, many of us, instead of getting together for Christmas, have done Zoom online. So Matthew is going to talk about him trying to stay in contact with his family overseas.
Yeah, so how do we keep Christmas cheer alive when celebrating at a distance? For many, Christmas 2020 required new arrangements, dinner over Zoom, sending presents from afar, not seeing your family in person. But for me, that has been Christmas for the 7 years that I've been in Canada. My family and I have to navigate different time zones and work around other arrangements to see one another on Christmas Day. Last year, my sister suggested that we do an Icelandic tradition called Jollabokaflod, or something.
Say that 3 times, Matt.
Jollabokaflod. I don't know if the J should be pronounced like a Y, so Jollabokaflod. Anyway, it means Christmas book flood in English. The tradition dates back to World War II in Iceland and involves giving family members a book in the evening of Christmas Eve and then curling up in front of the fire with a cup of hot cocoa to spend the evening reading. So my family was all assigned another family member because it was 2020. We did this anonymously through an app with enough time to go shopping or order online in time to arrive on Christmas Eve. There were still problems. I had sent the book that I'd got from my mum to my sister so that when they were together, when my sister went home for Christmas Eve, she could just deliver it then. But changes in lockdown rules in the UK meant that she might not actually be able to go home after all. And so in the sort of mid-December post, she had to send them to back home. But fortunately, everything arrived on time. And although we did end up gathered across 4 different households on Zoom, which was another complication because we normally talk via WhatsApp, but you can't do a video call on WhatsApp on a computer. So we had to change it around so we had the bigger screen. But yeah, we ended up using Zoom and exchanged our books. My book had been sitting wrapped on a shelf for weeks because my sister had ordered it well in advance to arrive in Canada before Christmas. And everyone else started reading. But Christmas Eve evening in the UK is early afternoon in Canada, so I had to go back to work. But I did end up getting takeaway from Lamb's to have for dinner that evening, so it worked out for me in the end as well. This year, we haven't arranged a book exchange. 2021 has been more hectic than 2020, and the rules have continued changing all the time. My family is meeting up without me on Saturday for my brother's birthday, and they are hoping to be together on Christmas Day, and we'll all celebrate over WhatsApp again. But we will still be together in spirit and hopefully in person again in the future.
Oh, Christmas present, put on your mask.
And speaking of the future,
At 3 a.m., another ghost appears. The third spirit is cloaked in a black robe. Nothing can be seen of him except one outstretched hand.
you are the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
The ghost doesn't answer. It points its long, bony finger into the night.
Ghost of the future, I fear you more than the others.
The spirit takes Scrooge to a lonely cemetery that is covered in weeds. A coffin is being lowered into the ground.
Whose funeral is this? Why is no one here to mourn? Tell me, spirit, is there anyone in this town who cared for this person?
Oh, when did he die?
Last week.
What was the matter with him?
An empty heart, I suppose.
Little good his money did for him.
Not a single person to mourn him.
But think of all the money he saved with such a cheap funeral.
Ha 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 ha.
The spirit points towards the gravestone.
Before I look, spirit, tell me one thing. Can this future be changed?
The spirit gives no reply. Scrooge trembles. He looks upon the gravestone and reads the words, Ebenezer Scrooge.
No, spirit, hear me. Can I still erase the name upon this stone? I am no longer the person I have been. From this night on, I will be a kind and generous man. I will honor Christmas with all my heart.
Okay, I hope you can see this. I'm not much of a techie, but who knows what the future Christmases will look like. I don't have a globe to look in and tell the future. Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera, what will be, will be. What will it be like? I went to Google. That's my globe to look into. Will it be like the old Jetson cartoons we watched as children, where we're in spaceships flying around, living in the air? Will we have robots serving us dinner, cleaning our house? Maybe we'll be celebrating it at the International Space Station, or by that time in, say, 2050, 2060, I'm not sure. Maybe there'll be a place on Mars, station on Mars or the moon. What will our food be like? Will it be lab-made food? Will it be turkey in a bottle or in a tube? Some people might have virtual Christmases. We already have the technology for the virtual masks that are seen here. Maybe somebody who lives alone can actually not feel alone by putting on their virtual Christmas masks. Maybe it'll be avatars around our table instead of us, or holograms. So the future Christmas, I got this off a website. So again, partying in space, there they are. How about a holiday themed space tour, including the exclusive view of the world during the biggest night of the year? Stuffing bellies in zero gravity might not be very convenient, but the memories for the whole year ahead will be worth it. Or faster than magical reindeer, you might take a go to England, Matt, on this speedy Hyperloop train that'll take you around to visit all your friends and family in one night. Whoa. Put your seatbelt on for that. Your own Christmas elf. So your house might have smart technology. Instruct your smart home assistant to take care of the decorations, cooking, and entertainment. It would be a stress-free holiday. I don't know if it would be stress-free. Not with all that technology around me, but anyway. Fireworks in your living room. So again, we would have a headset, a virtual reality headset on, and we could create fireworks going off. We might go on a trip to the Caribbean. We could experience whatever we want right in our own living room. We could even feel the wind as it blows, the sounds. Wow, that would be something. Amazon is the new Santa, and you might have all the toys being delivered by drones. The drone could drop it down your chimney, maybe, if you have one. Get excited about the personal gift picked by an Amazon employee using your recent shopping activity. Uh-oh, they know everything you're doing in the future. They know what sites you've looked at. They already know that. Always amazes me when I look at a pair of shoes or something online. All of a sudden, I have 20 online shoe companies trying to sell me shoes. So anyway, not sure what the future brings, but we do hope that it will always bring peace, hope, joy, and love, no matter what the future brings. Okay, now I have to share. There, I think we're back.
We're back.
We're back from the future. When Scrooge awakens the next morning, he is so happy to see daylight that he laughs out loud. For a man who has been out of practice for so long, it is a splendid laugh. He opens his window and calls to a boy passing by.
What day is it today, my fine fellow?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
I haven't missed it, thank goodness. Do you know the prize turkey hanging in the butcher's window?
One that's as big as I am?
Yes, that one. I'll pay you to go buy it and have it brought to Bob Cratchit's house.
Yes, sir. Merry Christmas, sir.
The Cratchits won't know who sent it, and then I must join my nephew for dinner. Oh, joy, I haven't missed Christmas.
Scrooge spends the rest of the day spreading Christmas cheer, joyfully sharing his wealth with neighbors and strangers. The next day, Scrooge arrives at the office early. Cratchit enters, shivering from the cold.
Mr. Cratchit, you're 18.5 minutes late.
Only once a year, sir. We had quite a celebration last night. A kind stranger sent us a prize turkey, and we made merry long into the night. It won't happen again.
I'll tell you what, I'm not going to stand for this any longer.
Poor Cratchit. He is certain he is about to be fired.
And therefore, Mr. Cratchit, I'm doubling your salary.
Cratchit is stunned.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Cratchit. A merrier Christmas than I've ever given before. And your salary is just a start. I'll assist your struggling family any way I can. And Tim, whatever he needs, he'll have it. Now let's warm up this place. Put some more coal on the fire, Mr. Cratchit. Before you dot another I, let's have more coal.
Scrooge is even better than his word. He becomes as good a man and as good a friend as the city has ever known. It is said from this point forward that if any man knows how to celebrate Christmas, it is Ebenezer Scrooge.
May the same be said of all of us.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Just wanted to let you know, we had to change many of the voice parts as Deborah Dufton was unable to join us today. And we hopefully you could understand what part we were playing. It's been fun. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, oh, you're welcome. And thank you everyone for joining us. We've been recording this, so, well, an edited version, probably just with the beginning and end cut off, will appear on Facebook soon. So if anyone missed it, then they'll be able to watch it again before Christmas.
All right. Well, I guess it's bye, everybody.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.